Go ahead.
Hi, this is Ardis from Credible Paranormal, and we wanted to update you or just kind of give you some information about the house that we've been investigating that we're trying to keep a little bit secret. I'm not going to tell you the name of the house, but it is in Jefferson, Texas, and it's a 158-year-old antebellum home, which means it was built prior to the Civil War. Some of the claims of activity here, first of all, across the street is a bed and breakfast, and the people there have seen supposedly an apparition of a man dressed as a doctor walking up this sidewalk and disappearing on the front porch. What's interesting about that is that this house used to be a doctor's office. So if we can go in, we'll talk about the house a little bit. This house is registered as a historical landmark in the state of Texas. This house is for sale. That's why it's devoid of as much furniture as you would expect. But this room right here is called the dog trot. And what happens in this room, people can hear, people who are sleeping in this bed or in one of these other rooms have heard the sounds of footsteps as somebody walks down this hallway. Occasionally children do stay here. This is not a dedicated home, it's just a weekend home for some people who spend very little time here. But their children would sleep upstairs, and if the door opened, it has a chime. It has an alarm on it, and this alarm would sound notifying that somebody came in the house. But they hear these footsteps without the doors being opened. So we're going to go into this room. This is just known as the east bedroom. This is the master bedroom. This used to be the parlor in this home, and when people were born in this house, they would live in this house and they would die in this house. And when they died, they would display their body here in a coffin in front of this fireplace. It now serves as just the master bedroom for the owners. Over here on this window, I don't know if you can see it, but right here we have the name Hattie and Clark scribed into the window. And there's a story that the owner's daughter was dying of tuberculosis or some other illness, and she had met a man here named Clark, and Clark proposed marriage, gave her a ring, and he was unaware of her illness. When he asked the father for his blessings to marry her, the father explained to him that his daughter would not survive, so Clark called off the wedding. And Hattie had took the ring that Clark had given her, and she scratched her name and his name into the window. It's been there ever since. In this room, on our first investigation, this cane here, it's a horsehead cane, was sitting against this wall along with this sword. And Jimmy and I had come in here, and late at night, we'd asked if there was anyone here, could they move something for us? And I was standing here, and I turned around, and I thought I saw this cane move just slightly. It was sort of in that position right there. It was in about that position. So normally what we do when we first come in, we take a series of photographs of everything so we can see the position everything was in when we entered the environment. Then we can refer back. So that's what we did. We referred back to our photographs, and when we came in, this cane was standing like that. There was a point during the night where I had picked up this sword and played with it, because if there's a sword, you got to play with it. And I placed it back, intentionally not hitting the other sword, and I was trying not to scratch the wall, so I was being real careful. And I could have hit that sword and moved it. But the odds are kind of slim that the one thing I may have mistakenly saw move had actually been moved. So we don't know if I had moved it or what, or if something else had moved it. But that's all we've experienced in here. In this room over here, this is the parlor room with the piano. You'll notice we have a camera pointing at this piano. We do that for a reason, because we've been recording the sounds of piano music being played in and around this environment. We don't hear it with our ears, it only shows up on our audio. So we're pointing that camera towards that piano every time we're here to prove that nobody's in here playing this piano. But in this room's pretty significant. This is the west bedroom. lights don't work.
Maybe the bulb burned out.
Well, can you see me fine there?
Yep.
Okay, well in this bedroom there was a bed here until recently. It was here 2 weeks ago, it's now gone. The owners are selling off all of their property. They're trying to get rid of the house. There was a bed here, and occasionally there's been people who sleep in this bed. And one of them is the granddaughter of the owner, and she reported seeing a man standing here in one of these doorways watching her sleep. We recorded in this room on one occasion. I sat on the bed right here and I just posed the question, are you the person who's been watching a little girl sleeping in this bed? We got a voice that kind of sounded like it saying yes. We don't know if it's one of our investigators. We're not certain yet, so we're not going to really present that as evidence, but we came back in here on another occasion and we recorded the sound of a woman laughing very loudly to a story that the owner was relating to us. Something that scared her, and something seemed to be amused by it and laughed very loudly. As I said, this is the dog trot. And this is Brad. He's going over our audio right now and monitoring the cameras. This is known as the Civil War room. There hasn't been any reports about this room that we're aware of. This is just a lounge for the owner. He's really into the Civil War era. There's a bathroom right here. This bathroom and the master bathroom in that bedroom used to be a bedroom that existed on this house, and a child lived in it. And the bedroom supposedly jetted out part way into this courtyard area here, and that's going to play a part in some phenomena that we've been experiencing. And this is the angel room. For obvious reasons, there's angels everywhere. There's been some reports. The owner's daughter was laying in this bed, and while she was laying here, she felt someone twice take their finger and very forcefully rub it up the bottom of her feet that were exposed down here. After that, the owners got up and left the house. They drove back to Dallas where they live, which is a 3-hour drive, so they were scared enough to leave the house in the middle of the night. I had the opportunity to stay in this room last time I was here, and I didn't get much sleep, but there was an occasion where I was laying here. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had been snoozing off and on all night because I was, in a self-awareness mode because I'm in a house that's supposedly haunted. But I was laying here, and I finally told myself, look, nothing's going to happen. The things that have happened here happened over a long period of time, so I can stay here one night and nothing's going to happen. So I was laying on my side over here on the bed, and as soon as I thought that, something did the bed like that. Scared me to death, obviously, but I was laying in bed, and something hit the bed, and I could hear the sound, and the jolt was strong enough to make me kind of roll in the bed. So that was the it for my sleep. Let's go this way.